Hi guys, how are you? Hi everybody, how are you today?
What's up, everybody?
We got a good show for you today, people, okay? We got Jaguar Wright going on Piers Morgan's show, okay?
You go, girl. Do
We
it.
love Piers Morgan. I loved him since The Celebrity Apprentice, and then he had a show over here on CNN, and he's got a show across the pond in England. And I always liked Pierce. I have, and I love Jaguar Wright. Okay, I know. Jag is controversial, but when I made up with Jag a couple months ago, has it been a couple months now since you talked to the new boyfriend?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, and I said this from the beginning: Jaguar Wright has a good heart. She has a good heart. She also has a chaotic life. And I can vouch for Jag. Jag has been talking about Jay-Z, Diddy, Mary J. Blige for years. It's not a joke. For years. When we all thought, girl, stop lying. That's what we see about Jag, huh?
She talked about him as if they was her neighbors or something. Shit.
She'll call, be like, hey, Jay-Z's following me. You're like, what are you talking about? And I did a video earlier today in which I talked about how Jay-Z is dirty. He's dirty. Jay-Z wants to be the last man standing, and he'll do what he has to do to be the last man standing. Example, we all know Dame Dash, how he sold the business behind his back. He didn't tell him.
Yeah.
He did that. What else did he do? Jay-Z. He his old buddy from back in the day, that pharmaceutical rep. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Jay-Z admits to selling things back in the day, His friend DeHaven came out and said, Jay-Z turned state's evidence on me, and I ended up in prison, and he did not.
Wait a minute.
And not only did I end up in prison, he didn't tell me, and he kept telling me he was going to pay my attorney fees until it was time for me to go to court, and I had to get a public defender. Jay-Z is ruthless.
Again. Ruthless. Oh, no, that was Diddy. I'm sorry. I'm thinking...
Shine. You're thinking Shine.
But
Diddy and Jay-Z, they act just alike. So anyway, there's a rumor out there that Jay-Z's in one of the videos, the tapes that the feds have, but we know not only the feds have the tape, allegedly she Kim sent them to different people. So I made a whole video about it. I'm just skimming over the top. According to the rumors, Beyonce knows about the tape. And so when I reported about 4 days ago, when someone started tweeting that they seen Jay-Z at a divorce attorney's office, they're saying that Beyonce is going to distance herself from him and wants nothing to do with him. Also, they're saying that Jay-Z is preparing for when his tapes and name gets exposed to these tapes. Wow. I don't know. I'm just here. I'm jaded. I'm not here to tell you who right no more, who wrong. This shit is going on too long, and it's too many players. It's too many players.
And half this shit, we don't know if it's true or not, but it's possible. It's possible. And Beyonce could have just simply said,
"Fuck this shit, I'm out,"
and ran her ass to that laundromat and just did whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she'd rather take it off at the laundromat than be home with his freaky ass.
Oh my God. It's so complicated, Perry. I don't know what's what. So I'm just reporting it as it comes in and let y'all decide. I don't really give a damn anymore. I'm twisted. But anyway, so somebody calls me and says, Sharrell, And nobody has my number. Nobody has my number anymore. You have to go through Perry. So this is a person close to me. Sharrell, did you see Jaguar on Piers Morgan show? And I keep telling you guys, y'all might think Jag is lying, but she's getting more and more popular each year. Piers Morgan, that's considered the mainstream. And she's there talking about Jay-Z and Diddy, right? And I thought, oh, that's crazy. No, but here's the twist. He's also got Vlad TV, who most people call a snitch. I'm one of them people. Like, I wouldn't mess with Vlad. Vlad is working with the feds. You can't tell me no different. Vlad is not good for black people. He's just not. And every time you get a rapper, just because he pays, they run over there to do the interview, and then they go to jail 4 days later. Am I lying? Anybody stop me when I'm lying? Yeah. Okay. I don't trust Vlad TV. But anyway, Jag's on there acting the way she does in her videos, talking, Diddy is this and Jay-Z is that. And she's like, and Piers Morgan is just soaking it in. He's just like, really? Like, first of all, you're about 2 years too late, Piers. Like, mainstream is so far behind YouTube. Have you noticed that? So he's drinking it in, and then Vlad comes up and calls Jag a nut job and said that he would never have Jag on his show. Girl, we don't want you to have Jag on your show. Nobody go to Vlad. This man is a snitch. Ask anybody. But a lot of those hard up rappers, because it's hard to make money these days, they'll go if he pays you $10,000, they'll go. Stupid, they'll go to jail 2 days later, but they'll go over there. They don't get it.
And then Vlad might have a thing for Piers, because I think I remember him saying that about somebody else that was on Piers' show. Either they was on together and he acted as if somebody was taking his man.
Wait a minute. Wait.
I'm just saying, like, something is wrong with the boy.
Look,
if he ain't snitching, he trying to give you.
No, I do not trust Vlad. I do not trust Vlad TV. This is not going to stop people from going over there, because all of those hard up for cash rappers, they're gonna go right back over there. Has Boosie been over since he got a new case?
I hope not. Or he'll be locked up soon. I tell you that.
So let's start playing this now. I hope I don't get in trouble for playing this, but I had to bring it to y'all. I had to bring it, okay? Because I was cracking up through the whole thing. Because we know how Jag can get. Mm-hmm. And then who are you, Vlad, to call anybody a clout chaser? You invented clout chasing, okay? You work with the feds and ain't nobody stupid, okay? Okay.
And something wrong with him. For real, he got a thing for Piers, I think. I think he want to get in between the sheets.
Hey, Freddie. Perry, don't say that. Perry.
No. I'm just thinking that, right? Because it's happening too much. Like a rapper go on his show, they go to prison. If
Perry,
somebody on Piers' show, he talk shit about him.
You're crossing the line. Don't.
Okay. A little freaky to me.
Hi, Freddie. Piers Morgan isn't on TV anymore. He only has his YouTube channel, uncensored. Okay, that's where he was. This is a mess. The whole thing was a mess. You could tell Piers is green to the situation. He doesn't know what's going on. He's soaking it in. He's loving every minute of Jag. And you know how Jag gets. I can't show the full video. I can't. So it's a still. We can only hear it. But you guys can imagine Jag. She just was... It was like the comedy hour. It was fun.
Well, no, I mean, Jag always been entertaining. Now, whether you believe her or not believe her, but one thing you got to give her, always entertaining.
Always entertaining. Let's get to it. You guys can stop me whenever you want. Perry, you can stop me whenever you want, because it's long. It's a half hour. I'm not going to play the full half hour, but I'll do a good 20 minutes. Okay? Here we go.
Through the entertainment industry and beyond, the blast radius from the uncovering of his alleged offences could yet swallow many more powerful and famous figures. Diddy is accused of creating a criminal enterprise which engaged in sex trafficking, racketeering, kidnapping, bribery and forced labour. His lawyers say he'll fight the charges, but after the testimony you're about to hear, you'll be staggered he avoided the attention of law enforcement for so long. I'll speak to a lawyer, a whistleblower, and an insider for an uncensored insight into the showbiz scandal of a
I gotta stop it. It's just
Just the way she leaning for me.
she got these sunglasses.
She ready.
Jag.
She ready
Okay,
to
let me-
drop that knowledge.
No, Perry, remember when you would make fun of her and you would wear the sunglasses?
Yeah.
She quit wearing them for a while. Now she got a new pair. Child, this is a mess. Let's keep listening.
generation. And Jaguar, I'm going to start with you. You've been called a whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties. And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a sex trafficker. And in response, you were called crazy and jealous. Do you feel vindicated
Yes.
by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning. Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
How bad was it?
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, do you think, what was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey.
What?
And being taught to be just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you.
Wait, whoa. Okay, what's she talking about? What's she talking about?
She about ready to break it down. She about ready to go deep.
What? Is she saying she's a victim?
Well, no,
I think she is, Perry.
hold on. Is that what she said?
I think so. Let's
I was
keep
embracing
listening.
myself for the story. But damn.
And this is the first time I heard about Patti LaBelle. But it could be true. Let's not listen.
No.
What we can't do
I
is say
heard
that
about Patti LaBelle before, though.
you heard the Patty story before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, well,
all right.
I'm not sure if it was the same, just like she said it, but I remember her mentioning Patty telling her something.
Okay, all right. I thought she was elaborating again. Let's keep going.
So
You want to
Patti-
know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Now, lover or hater, that's absolutely the truth. Everybody's putting all their attention on Diddy, but Jay-Z is worse because he's smart. Diddy not so smart. He's stupid. He inviting everybody to the freak offs. Jay-Z's smart. And he's not, and he's street. Remember he stabbed Un Rivera? Y'all do not trust Jay-Z either. Do not. Yeah, you want to say anything, Perry, before I go back?
It's just a trip. Go ahead. No, you good.
It's a mess. I love it.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
Cruelty-free artistry.
Right. There's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil.
I'm sorry, you guys. You guys know I do not like Claudia Jordan. Thank you, Jag. I don't like Claudia. We'll talk about her on another day, flip-flop and changing her stories. We know the rumors are that you were his mistress. Those are the rumors. Explain the picture. She claims, oh, he just came up and lovingly put his arms around me. No, Claudia, stop. So the first time on Piers' show, Jack is bringing the heat, okay?
So did Claudia need an IV 3 days later? I mean, because you know,
Claudia Jordan is all over the place.
Yeah. On that photo, I know we'll get back. Something had to go down. If Diddy would bring them in from different states, why ain't he gonna take one that's on his lap? Just saying.
Somebody just called her clawfoot in the chat. Y'all need to stop. Let's keep going.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange.
No. Jag.
Okay.
The guy that's over everything. The big boss, Lucian Grange. Well, okay. I mean, she's not scared of a title. We'll give her that.
Not at all.
Not at all. Let's keep going.
He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous. And everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the Black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal.
What?
Wait a minute.
Is this the first time you heard her say this?
Yeah, that she was a worker. I remember her saying that she was like a madam, that she had her girls, but maybe
Harry, stop. You heard that before?
Yeah, she had said, yeah, I know, because I used to pick up the girls as like a runner or a madam on the street. I don't
Did
know.
she tell you that in private, or she said it?
No. throughout all the interviews and different stuff. If I'm wrong,
Hmm.
somebody tell me. But I remember
Okay.
saying it.
All right, let's keep going.
That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes.
What?
I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging, putting girls in the suitcases, dumping them in alleyways. It's horrifying. And it's all done under the protection of this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
It seems to have been something that a lot of people knew about, but people were simply too
Everyone
scared
knows.
to talk about.
Everyone knows. And every person that's sitting there trying to act surprised knows very well. The whole point of this, like Cat Williams said when he sat with Shay Shay earlier this year, the whole point of this is for them in a coordinated effort to pretend like none of it is real for the public's perception. But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's the Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. We got to stop making Diddies. And if we're going to do that, then we got to go back. We got to go back to even further, the mentors of these people. Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically. And Clyde Davis has been his greatest teacher.
Look, Clive Davis is not here to respond to that, nor is Jay-Z. But a lot of people, famous people in the music industry, have been notable, like I say, by their silence so far. It's also been notable that since the Me Too campaign began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Since Me Too began in 2017, the music industry has largely avoided the same kind of scrutiny that other industries have had. Why do you think that is?
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back.
No, you guys, look. I don't know who telling the truth, what part is right, what part is wrong, but I'm telling you, Jay-Z has a reputation in the industry of going low, like he did DMX. Jay-Z wanted to be the #1 rap artist on Def Jam. So he became president and he refused to release any more DMX records. If you haven't heard DMX talk about it, go to my regular videos. He's a dirty fighter and he gets rid of the competition. Now that part, she's not making up. They've been talking about that for years. And thank you, Sharon, for the super chat.
Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
Guess
if
they
this,
on vacation.
if this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
Hold on.
Wait
She's
a
talking about
minute.
Beyonce, and she has 3. She got 3 people, clients herself. What does that mean?
She's saying she got 3 people that she know of, basically, that she still hang out with, are victims of Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Not the B. Don't. Okay, let's keep listening.
They're a nasty little couple.
Mm.
They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping
Porter?
people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Piers.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
Yes.
a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Jaguar, I've got to leave it there. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for caring.
I do care. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me pause it before I go on to Vlad TV. Now, Bonji just asked, what is she talking about? Putting people on a plane. Okay, so according to Jaguar Wright and Dame Dash, Jay-Z got mad at Dame Dash because they were both talking to Aaliyah at the same time, and she ended up going with Dame. Okay, and he claims that this is the reason why he shut down Rockefeller Records, and in the manner in which he shut it down behind his back. They're also saying that, and Dame Dash has some text messages from Aaliyah that she did not want to get on that plane, and that somebody slipped something to her and carried her on the plane. I don't know. This is what's going on. Don't ask me what's true. Bonji said, what are they talking about getting on the plane unconscious? That they gave her, laced her stuff, and she went unconscious, and they brought her on the plane. I don't know. I wasn't on the plane, but that's what they're talking about. Now let's go to the number one snitch, and that is Vlad TV.
Well, I'm joined now by the host of Vlad TV, DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad, I mean, it's pretty horrifying listening to these testimonies. What did you make of what you just heard?
Well, Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really co-sign anything that she says. I've never had her on my show, and I don't have any plans to have her on my show.
And she might be a conspiracy theorist, Vlad, but you've got a reputation of being a snitch. And I'm glad you're not having Jag on your show. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't have any more Black people on your show because all you're doing is using them for monetary gain. And you got a lot of nerve to call somebody else a nut job when your ass is a damn snitch. I'm just saying. Okay.
Right. Well,
sorry, I went Jag on because Vlad TV is the biggest host of all times, and people keep falling for his BS. He has made millions of dollars out of interviewing rappers and then turning them into the feds.
Damn.
Isn't that right? Isn't that what your reputation is, Vlad? And you're calling her a nut job? What do you call yourself? Let me keep going. Sorry.
You don't believe her?
She's got an album in 20 years, and a lot of this stuff is just stuff she's heard, things she's making up, and so forth. I'm not saying that there aren't serious things that Diddy may have done, but yeah, I can't co-sign anything that Jaguar Wright is saying, if that's your question.
Well, I mean, obviously, since we last spoke, there have now been these charges against Diddy, which are incredibly serious. You didn't think at the time we last spoke that he was likely to face these charges. Are you surprised it's come to this?
I'm not surprised because I feel that law enforcement in general is reactionary. I think that when you look at high-profile individuals, their arrests, indictments usually come after a documentary, a big TV show, or in Diddy's case, it was this huge lawsuit that Cassie filed that everyone got to see all the details and all the attention that came to it. So yeah, it wasn't a surprise that it actually happened because you've seen this happen over and over again. R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, all the attention that they got, and then now Diddy. So yeah, I mean, this is ultimately the world that we live in. But he'll have his day in court. And, his lawyer said that he's not going to take a plea deal because I think a plea deal at this point is probably going to be very heavy-handed, probably 20 years plus. So it makes sense for him to go to court. But we'll ultimately see what happens, because we haven't really seen, apart from some of the funny stuff of, there's 1 million bottles of lube that they found there. I'm sorry, 1,000 bottles of lube and so forth. We have yet to really see what the evidence is. And I think once we see the actual evidence, then people will actually formulate an opinion on what's happening right now.
Do you think there's a lot of people in the rap world in particular who are pretty fearful right now of where this may all lead? Is it a bit like the Epstein scandal, do you think?
I don't really think so because, ultimately, everyone wanted to go to Diddy's white parties when they were happening. If I got an invite, I would go.
See what he says? Suspect stuff. You're talking about Diddy doesn't remind you of Epstein. Then who does he remind you of, Vlad? Both are being accused of running a ring. Like what?
Yeah, he just be talking, and then he's talking about, most people. I'm not surprised, but Piers has said earlier you didn't think shit was going to happen. Now you're not surprised. Then you're saying, most of them get arrested after a documentary or either being on your show.
Let's keep going.
But there's a party within a party. There's the actual party where the big celebrities go to, the Howard Sterns and the Leonardo DiCaprios and so forth. You never hear of any of them really being involved in any of this stuff. They go home, at 2, 3 o'clock a.m. And then there's the private parties that seem to involve the sex workers and probably.
See, I'm telling you, he's always stabbing the rappers in the back. You haven't heard of like Leonardo DiCaprio being at these parties. It's only the black rappers, and then, and because anyone else, there's no way Trump could have been associated with this kind of filth. But there's pictures of Diddy and Trump everywhere and Epstein. Explain that, Vlad.
On one hand, everybody wanted to be at the parties, but only the rappers stayed for the freak fest after 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Come on, Vlad. You know a lot of information about the parties. I'm wondering, was you eyes on the ground, my brother?
Really? What really irks me about Vlad is he makes money off of us and then he talks down on us. That's what bothers me.
Certain types of people that are kind of in an inner circle. No. And we'll see if those names ultimately come out or not. You know, I think that when it comes to a situation like the feds, cooperating is a very big thing. And I think if Diddy cooperates and gives up some big names of actual crimes that they committed, that'd be a way of actually, you know, lessening the amount of time that he does, or possibly even walking away.
What is he talking about? If Diddy gives in the bigger names, first of all, who's bigger than Diddy? Donald Trump's name has already been submitted. That's not happening. There's nothing Diddy can say to get him out of this. Nothing.
I don't think so neither.
Who is he going to turn in, Vlad? And he's running the ring. Who's he going to turn in? Or will he just start mentioning who was at the parties? Have you been to the parties, Vlad? You did not answer that question. Have you been to the parties yourself? I'm just wondering. Please answer that.
I mean, what had you heard about Diddy over the years? Obviously, people knew he had parties. They knew he was a big rap star and so on. But the nature of this kind of thing. I mean, I'm asking because when I watched, for example, I met Diddy a couple of times. He was always perfectly charming to me. But you know, I've met a lot of people who are charming and turned out to be monsters. The video that came out of showing him beating up his then girlfriend in a hotel corridor was so shocking that when I watched it, I remember thinking, well, this guy is capable of anything. I mean, a man that would do that, who's that famous, who would do that to a woman in a hotel corridor, public hotel corridor, if he's prepared to be that violent in public, knowing there might be cameras around, he's prepared to do pretty much anything, was my conclusion. I mean, what did you hear about him over the years?
Yeah, I mean, that tape was horrific. And after our interview that we did with Roger Bonds, who I helped to bring onto the show, I did my own interview with Roger Bonds. It was a very in-depth, I think, two-hour interview where he goes into actually witnessing a lot of women that were physically abused by Diddy. I mean, not only Cassie, of course, which you saw multiple times, but Kim Porter. He was on a trip where Kim Porter got her nose broken allegedly by Diddy and flew in a plastic surgeon to fix it. There was a personal chef that Diddy beat up. I actually heard voicemails of her describing it. This wasn't even something that she wanted to come publicly with. There was other women as well that I got details on. So I think that Diddy has a long history of violence towards women, but also of men, because there's also the Steve Stout incident. If you remember that whole situation, he was in a music video with Nas, Hate Me Now, and there was a scene where Diddy was on the cross like Jesus, and I guess he went to Steve Stout afterwards and said that he wants to take that part out. That part wasn't taken out, so Diddy and his entourage show up at Steve Stout's office and they beat him with a champagne bottle, which they ultimately settled out of court for. So I think there's a lot of violence that has happened around him, and I think at this point it's just catching up to him.
There's lots of rumor mills about him being secretly gay or bisexual or whatever. I mean, I don't care, but do you think there's much credence to those?
I mean, it's hard to say. I have heard, because remember, for example, the Wendy Williams situation. She was on the radio in New York and she said that she had photos of Diddy in a gay type environment of some sort. And I had someone actually explain to me what that photo was after the fact. And Diddy came in and threatened to sue the radio station unless she was fired. And she was fired and she had to go to Philly for, I think, 5 years or something like that.
Perry, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I think Vlad is trying to downplay Jaguar Wright, call her a nut job, and she'll never be on my show, but come to me. I'm the guy with all the information.
Right.
I think he was trying to play a power move just now. What do you think?
Personally know them, and he's, had extensive interviews with the people, so he really know their background. Jag is just a clout chaser. Look at me, a prominent white guy. I won't lie to you. I have all the information.
Because he could have easily did his interview without trying to trash anybody else.
Yeah.
And you act like coming on your show is such a privilege. I don't understand the undercover hate, Vlad. He didn't ask you anything about Jag. You offered it.
And then he downplays it a little bit like, well, I heard things, but I can't really say because I want these rappers to continue to come on my show for interviews so I can have the paddy wagon sitting outside when they leave. because everybody know how I roll. My name is Vlad, baby.
Vlad, oh my God. Will Vlad TV get exposed for being a vulture culture one day? Culture vulture. I mean, he's really trying to be the person that everyone goes through. If they want Diddy advice, Jay-Z, anything about the rappers, he wants everyone to come to him for the information by putting others down. That's what he's doing.
Right,
and
right,
I'm on you, Vlad. That's not cool. Let's keep going.
So there was that. I'm not sure how true it is because it was just a photo, and a photo, could mean a lot of different things. I mean, the fact that he's a cuckold, that he likes to masturbate while watching women that he's with have sex with other men. I don't know. Is that gay? Is that bisexual? Is that just being a cuckold? It's hard to say. It's not something that I'm actually into. But I'm sure it blurs the lines between homosexuality and bisexuality somewhat. But I don't think he's exclusively gay because he has a lot of children. It's hard to really say, and it ultimately doesn't really matter. And, I've talked about this in my interviews. I think if he came forward and said, hey, I'm a bisexual man, I think a lot of the jokes, like the no Diddy jokes and so forth, will kind of ease down, and people might actually be a little understanding of his situation a little bit more, as opposed to him denying it. But ultimately, who knows? I have no idea.
We've talked, people have talked a lot in the last few years that it's unusual that so few people in the music business have been held to account under the Me Too campaign umbrella in the way that other industries were held to account. Could this be, following R. Kelly and others, could this be a tipping point where there might be a lot of other?
This is what I think. Let me tell you guys what I think. And Perry, you said this earlier. Whether you're black, white, Mexican, Hawaiian, it doesn't matter. Hollywood as a whole is going to get exposed this year. And it's about time. This has been going on before Bill Cosby. It's been going on forever. It's getting worse and worse. And everybody that partakes in these rings, they need to be exposed. They need to go to jail. You have to be accountable, because what they're not talking about is the damage that it does to people. They're saying that Cassie has PTSD. She still has nightmares. Her memory is shot from all of the drugs. No one's talking about that. What it does to people. This has to stop. They all need to be exposed. Cat Williams said it, 2024. Everything needs to be exposed.
Yeah, and shit, we still got 2 months left.
Yeah. Let me finish this. 2 more minutes and then we're done.
Rap stars in particular, perhaps, with very checkered backgrounds, lots of rumors about them, could all start falling like dominoes?
It's hard to say. Like I said in the beginning, it's very reactionary. I think if there is a lot of media attention over somebody, there's a documentary about them, there's movies about them and so forth, I think that ends up getting on law enforcement's radar, and then you will see things kind of escalate very quickly. It's hard to say. R. Kelly was extremely high profile. And there will be others, but I don't think that the music industry is really having less situations than other industries. I mean, every industry has certain situations and they're high profile, and there's a bunch of other stuff that kind of falls below the radar.
Finally, Diddy, what do you think is going to happen here? Do you think Diddy will ever come out of prison?
That's a tough one, because I was really shocked that he didn't get a bond. I thought for sure that he'd be sitting in his mansion right now awaiting trial, but he's sitting in a jail cell right now. And it could be years before this actually makes it to trial. So it proves that things are very, very serious on his end. And if you look at the R. Kelly situation, he got, I believe, 30 years. This may fall along the same lines, except the only difference is when I looked into the R. Kelly case, a lot of the convictions were based on underage girls. You've heard a few spatterings of underage accusations, but in general, it seemed like most of the women were of legal age in the Diddy case. So
he must have taped this before Busby's press conference yesterday when he said that, they were as young as 9 years old. 9 years old.
Right.
Somebody needs to pay for that. 9? Perry, what are your thoughts on Jay-Z?
On Jay-Z, where there's smoke is typically fire. So now I don't see the proof yet, but the things that's out there, I can believe it, especially after going through the Diddy thing. And you start to go back and see some of their behavior in the past.
Mhm.
And it's sort of like the same thing, like Big Red. What's that little show? Like you get these producers and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be him. And if it's true that he was seeing a divorce attorney and all this, all this,
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
it plays a part in it, saying it could be true. So I don't really know. Like I said, I don't have the evidence. They haven't displayed the evidence. But all this talk about it, maybe something's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you guys, I love Jay-Z's music and I love Beyonce and all that, but no man is past being looked at. And, if they keep showing this pattern of what Jay-Z's doing to people, it's not too more far-fetched if he, he's very calculated in his movements.
Dame Dash. Then people say he met Beyonce at an early age.
That's right.
All this different stuff. And maybe, I don't know, but it could be true. I'm not going to come on here and say it's not.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But the only thing I know,
no, go ahead.
like Jag said, now Vlad might not really come out and say, he said, well, I don't know, but he's, deserve his day in court. Jag just come out and say it completely. She say Diddy and Jay-Z are
guilty. That nigga is guilty.
This is so crazy. You guys don't forget to, so I get a little overwhelmed by talking about Diddy every day. So don't forget to check my other videos out as they come in. I'm looking for some other news. Might need a little Diddy break. But every time I say I'm going to take a break, something outrageous happens and then I got to come cover it because I could not believe that mainstream America is just now hearing what Jag has to say. And we've been hearing this literally for years. And I think she's on to something with Jay-Z. I really do. Let's take a couple comments. I guess I have to watch the replay. Oh, T-Love, you missed it. Yeah. Jagatha is a buffoon. I can't wait till the rest of y'all sheep catch up. Dame Dash blackballed himself. He was after to everyone. Awful to everyone. So when he ended up being down, no one would mess with him anymore because of how he treated everyone when he was on top. That's true. That's very much true. And what do you mean in the past? Dame Dash acts like that now. But what we need to watch out for is the story of Jay-Z being jealous of him being with Aaliyah. Is that the reason that he closed down Rockefeller Records and sold him out? We'll see. We didn't want Piers in England. Oh my God. You don't like Piers? What she said about the video with a bigger name than Diddy. It has to be Jay-Z. I don't know who else. Who's bigger than Diddy that you think is involved in this? That's not politically related.
Oh, yeah, no, I would have to say, well, in the rap world, it would have to be Jay-Z. And then the crazy part about it, it's just my thought. If Jay-Z was involved, who's setting up who?
Right.
Well, okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is Jay-Z feeding this stuff and that's why he's quiet and letting Diddy take the fall? Or will Diddy come out and talking to somebody in the back room right now after eating? Because remember they said that he went on a diet. But anyway.
Clive Davis, that's a good pick. Clive Davis. Y'all, please stop saying Beyonce. My heart can't take it. I'm not even saying that y'all wrong. I'm saying my heart could not take it if it was Beyonce. I just, no. I'm going to go in denial right at this point. No, not B, not B. Sharrell and Perry, whatever happened to the little white girl that Diddy adopted? Ava, they're saying, was not officially adopted. She was a daughter of a friend of his, and he would call her his adopted daughter. So anyway, you guys, so we wanted to come on here and share that story with you. Jaguar still telling the same stories. We have to see what happens from now. This is history in the making. So we are documenting it. Any words, final words, Perry?
I just say this, Jag, keep doing what you're doing, keep talking. But until the next show,
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Bye, you guys. See you later.
Don't mind me.